Got diamonds all over my cheeks, been tripping ain't free. I gotta eat. I hop in the pit with a freak, but you better stop when you see me. The fuck you talking about? We got no choppers now, I'm shooting shit like a freak. I swear that you nigga not street. How you a shooter, you don't got no heat. I count the back, you on my brother, I come to my brother, and he got each other. I put that on the big man.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Off the Ropes podcast with me, Galia, and
the host with the most, youngseaka, and today, before starting this episode, I really want to thank everybody again that contributed to another episode. So whether it comes from Flex from behind the camera, today taking on the pictures, to our beautiful guest, very thankful for everybody that contributed, and let's get it on.
yes,
We're the opponent.
Yes, so today we have Tima. I know of you because of the Miguel music video. Period. We know. We've seen it. So we're really excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Appreciate the fact that you took the time to come see us and talk to us. So we're just gonna hop into it, and we're just gonna talk about your personal experience as a model, okay? Because we want to know what's good, what's up, what's good on set. We want to know the streets of Ottawa.
Listen, I definitely want to get into the modeling thing, but she hasn't earned the stripes to kind of just go ahead and brag on camera just yet.
Oh, okay.
I did, but not yet. Okay, so eventually I want to know where are you from? Like, who are you as a person? Like, how are you here right now? What have you done?
How am I here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, like where I'm really from.
Yeah, give us the whole background.
Where you're really from? What do you?
You know what? I'm doing a background check on you right now as we're speaking.
Okay, if you were to do a background check on me, you'd find out that I was born in the Middle East, actually. A lot of people don't know that, but I was born in Kuwait. So that's where I was raised until I was like 8 or 9. So my dad went to school there. And then Kuwait is not really, it's not for Black people.
No,
it's really not for anybody who's not, it's not really not for anybody who's not from Kuwait. So that's what really pushed us to move to Canada. And then if I didn't move here, I don't think I'd ever have the life that I do now. Like all my opportunities, being able to go to school, being able to model, like that wouldn't have been possible at all. So and then since I moved here, like Ottawa's been like my home. And it's been good. Like I can't complain. Life's blessed. So
What are your roots again?
oh, okay. So my background.
You know how the what's your background?
So, my mom's from Senegal and my dad's from Gambia. So, I really identify with Senegal mostly, I'd say. Like, that's where I got to live when I was younger. Like, I got to live there for a year or so. I definitely, like, identify with Gambia, too. Like, a majority of my dad's family lives there still. And I just went back to visit right before COVID started. So, I'm still really in touch with my roots. I speak my language and all that stuff. It's really great.
So, Gambia...
And Senegal, yeah.
You're born
in Kuwait.
So can I? You're not just gonna say that. We're not gonna just brush past it. Exactly why?
Well, yeah, because my dad went to school there.
Oh.
Like my dad, like he came from like the slum, like village life, like typical African story. Like like I had to do this to go to school. I was in the like field farm and shit, like straight up, like really bad conditions. And then like he found his way out of the village, found his way into Senegal, and that's how he met my mom and stuff. And then he got a scholarship, and then that's how he ended up in Kuwait to study. And then he got to work for one of the biggest banks in Kuwait. And then he moved us all here.
We're gonna brush past that, okay? All right.
Wow. I swear, African parents are the best.
The best. They work hard for you. Like
I wish I had a big job personally.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like they really go from zero to nothing.
They go above and beyond. It's incredible.
Yeah. No, that's the truth, because like when I think back on it, I feel like a lot of our parents went through the same situation. It's like escaping a country or a famine or whatever situation to build a new life. And I feel like that's just another success story, So,
exactly.
All right. So from there on out, right? Like you obviously you did you moved to Canada and you were born in Kuwait, and then boom, you're in Canada.
Yeah.
Where are you from in the city? If you don't mind me asking.
So I'm from south end of Ottawa. I don't know why some people don't believe me, but I'm from South Keys. I've lived there since I moved here. And I went to Ridgemont High School. I know everyone thinks that's the ghetto. It's not.
I went to St. Pat's.
It's not.
Okay,
so we were neighbors.
Neighbors? I don't know.
Now that we got a pretty good intro about who you are as a guest, as a person, let's get into the nitty gritty, right? So, how did the modeling, how did you get discovered?
Okay, so me getting discovered it was pretty random. Like I knew I always wanted to be a model. I just didn't know how.
Because I remember back in our first couple of years of university, I used to see you in Nigerian videos. Nigerian videos. You ever seen those ones?
No. Okay,
New
you're gonna
Body
show
Entertainment?
me. Cause listen,
Gang?
I need to see that. Was that first year?
How you gonna do me like?
I was in media already at that time,
Wait, was it like first, second year?
It was like first or second, our second.
First year, my first year probably.
Yeah. But you know what? The Nigerians, shout out to them. Because, listen, without them, that first, second year wouldn't be bumping. Yeah, it would have been boring, period.
You're having your videographer too much, huh?
I'm sorry. But the Nigerians, the parties was bumping.
You're so right.
Don't they call them Niger demons anyway?
No, it's Yoruba demons, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta go through your ups and downs. Like, it is what it is.
How did it really start the whole discovering thing? Because how did it transition from being an Instagram baddie and videos to all the way being now having a Shoppers Drug Mart around Canada?
Yeah.
So basically, like when I started out when I was 16 actually. So I started out first year high school, grade 9. But it wasn't like, I wasn't doing things that I do now, obviously. So it took me a while to get there. But I got discovered, like I just entered a contest like online through Facebook. And the person with the most likes wins a contract with MIM, which is my mother agency.
And you always knew you wanted to do that, right?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to model. I knew I was gonna do it.
How did you practice for the first?
Honestly,
when you had to take that picture.
For me, like everything I would do, I would incorporate modeling. If I was walking down the street, I would walk like I'm walking on the catwalk. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I don't care if people looked at me funny. Yeah. Nothing. My pictures, I would do the most. I always did the most. I know people know I'm extra, and I don't give a fuck. Like I do not care. But like, that's really how I brought my confidence and my energy up, Like if I didn't do that, I feel like I wouldn't have the confidence to do modeling. Because growing up, like I was the skinny girl, I was the dark skinned girl. I had a gap in my teeth. I still do, but I'm like closing my gap now.
Yeah.
I want to.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're Muslim, right?
So I'm Muslim too. Yeah.
That all because you can't just doing the most and eating halal on Fridays. How do you balance that?
Yeah.
So my parents were really supportive when I started modeling. Honestly, the only thing they asked of me was like, please don't be naked and just be careful. Those were the two things. Like that's what they, even to this day, that's really all they care about, right? But so from there I signed to MIM, and then I signed to Folio in Montreal, and then I signed to Elite in Toronto. And then I signed to Model Directors in Korea. That was like my first international contract. So that was dope. And really, like after I signed to Elite and stuff, that's where the doors started really opening up for me.
Is that the Toronto one?
Model Directors or Elite's in Toronto. Okay. It's a worldwide, but they have a location in Toronto. Yeah. So that's where things started happening. This one summer, like I moved to Toronto, and that's when I ended up in the Miguel music video, and then a couple months later, ended up in the Daniel Ceasar music video.
You're not jumping over and just giving a bunch of Daniel Ceasar, you're putting hot potatoes with your No, you're in the hot seat. I drive the car.
Okay. My bad.
So you got that first. So you won. Obviously, you won the contest.
Yes, I won the contest. That's how I signed to MIM, and then I started doing little shoots here and there, local Ottawa jobs, getting paid $0, just starting out.
That's a fact.
I did Ottawa Fashion Week when no one knew it was a thing. Like it's still not a thing, not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I cannot. How are you gonna say it's still not a thing?
No, I knew Tima was getting. I knew Tima was getting paid. I knew Tima was getting paid when every Friday, I used to be a club, right? I pulled up at the club, and Tima's all white in a booth with a bottle in her hand. I'm like, oh, she's getting paid. She's getting paid. I kept looking at her. We ended up in a couple parties together. Always looking proper. Respect that.
That was my partying phase that no longer exists.
Because of Corona.
Listen.
No.
Don't discount the party, okay?
No.
Pandemic.
No, but not because of Corona.
I'll go out. Okay?
Girl, trust me, I go out.
Yeah.
I have my fun, but I mean, like, to the extent that I was doing it during those times, my body just cannot. And I just, you're around so many people that aren't actually your friends or just weirdos.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing anymore.
Yeah. I was doing Ottawa Fashion Week.
So I did Ottawa Fashion Week. Those were like my first few jobs, like random photo shoots. Like I even had like jobs where I'd like go to like a store in the mall and they'd like use me as like a mannequin model. People would walk by, look at my outfit and stuff. Those were like some awkward jobs. Like I can't believe I ever did those. Like, but that's really like, that's how I knew I loved it. I was like, I kept going. And then, after I signed to Folio and Elite, those were like in the bigger cities, Montreal, there's always work. Toronto, there's always work. So that's where things started opening up. Like I started off with doing like e-com for like Simon. And then that was really cool. It's like, oh my God, I'm on the Simon's website. Like
you speak on that because I feel like, when it comes down to modeling, I feel like people expect models to just be pretty faces and work. But now you're telling me you're doing e-commerce for Simon's is a pretty big company.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna hide ourselves from that, right? So like, how do you go from taking pictures to then doing e-commerce for a big company like Simon's? To be, like, you had so many opportunities kind of just present themselves. So, like, what does the model day-to-day job kind of look like?
I would say, like, if you're trying to get to that point, like, you have to take your L's in the beginning. So if you're gonna end up doing stuff where you're not gonna be paid $0. Like you're doing, let's say, a creative where a photographer just wants to work with you to take some cool shots, like we did. Like that was cool. Or like,
in your career.
So you build your book, right? And you put those photos in your book. So then eventually people start like, when you're with an agency, clients can see those photos and they're like, this girl can actually shoot, she can actually work. So let's hire her for this and let's hire her for that, right? So you just have to take your little steps. I'm not saying don't get exploited. Like, don't just work for free forever, but you have to start out somewhere, right? Yeah. And then eventually, like when you build your book, then people can start to see your potential. And that's when you're able to do e-commerce. And then from there, maybe you'll book a campaign and so on.
So you have to be in there before they can start giving you opportunities. It's like an inside job almost?
Like I'm speaking as a signed model, so I can't speak for someone who's freelance, but as a signed model, it's really important to build your book. And I would also say as freelance as well, but nowadays it's good because we have Instagram. So a company can see you on Instagram and be like, even though she's not a signed model, she could still work for me.
Did social media really change the whole game like that?
Big time.
Say word.
Big time. But then if you're signed to an agency, for me, like what's nice is like I have people to do the work for me. So I don't have to go out and look for the jobs. They come to me, which is great, right? It's to each their own. And some people really like to go out and look for it themselves. And I don't mind doing that sometimes too. But, when you're signed, there's clauses and stuff and you can't always accept jobs without your agency. Yeah.
So like, what was your first like big contract? You're like, my life is made, or not my life is made, but my career is about to pop off. Like
when you eat shrimps and steak,
like you're like, okay, my career is about to pop off. I know this is the contract for me.
My first big one? What was my first big job? Damn, that probably would have been like
the career thing. You were gone for a while.
The career thing was cool, and the career thing was cool because I think it was. I had a worldwide campaign from my time in Korea.
Oh, worldwide.
And it was for, oh my God, I'm a horrible person. How could I forget the name? I really can't remember.
Was it one from there?
Yeah, it's based in Korea, but it was a worldwide campaign, and like that kind of solidified things for me. Like in my head, I was like, oh my God, I can really do this shit. But like after I came back from Korea? After I came back from Korea, I had a really good run. And I think the time that really like that I knew that I was solid was when I did a shoppers campaign, and then in the same year I did a campaign for like Bon Look and Little Burgundy. I think it was all around the same time. So that was like 3 campaigns. So everywhere you go in the mall, every time I walked to a different store, I'd see my face.
In Montreal, I seen your face in Montreal.
So you get money.
Yeah. Bon Look.
Take off
Little
the glasses, please, so we can see your face, mama. Please, mama.
Period. It's the African beauty popping out. What do you feel was the most difficult from the beginning of modeling till now? Like, what is the most difficult aspect of modeling?
I guess the most difficult aspect is like maintaining yourself, like image wise and mental health wise. So like I never had issues with my body like ever in my life. I've always been really like, for the most part, like confident in myself. And then in the past couple years, like, your girl got a little curvy. And then, you know,
Yeah,
in her industry.
yeah, that's it.
but in my industry, like, you know, I had like a couple meetings, like, ooh, that's how much your hip size is?
No way.
Maybe you should go to the gym. Like, you know, things like that. Like that kind of.
They're that direct.
Yeah. Not, but they're very like very supportive for the most part. But it might be like sometimes, you know, at the end of the day, it's in their best interest because you look good, they make their money, right? And of course, when I look good, I make my money too. But I never want to be at the point where I'm stressing to look a certain way, just to fit into this box in the modeling world, right? So I would say that's probably the most stressful part. But it's good now because like the industry is getting so diverse. Like girls of all shapes, sizes, doesn't matter where you are, like you can be a model. So that's what I'm running with right now. I still try to be healthy, and you know, I work out like 3 times a week now, 4 times a week at least. I do personal training and stuff, but that's for my own health, you know, my own, So I would say that's probably been the hardest.
I feel you. Oh, Tima getting thick. Yeah, no, okay, respect. All right then. Okay.
So we just want to know, like, how has your modeling affected your relationships? Like, the dating.
Okay, so in the start of my modeling career, like, I had, like, the shittiest luck with guys. Like, and it's crazy because you would think that, like, a guy would treat me well based on, like, oh, like, she's a model, like, you know, like,
A man would treat you right because you're a model?
No, but because, like, you know...
Maybe there's a value there, you know, like, okay, it's because
I'm
you're a
listening.
nigga. Listen, you're a nigga. That's why you don't get it.
You know when, like, because the girl, like, you always see a stereotype, like, every guy wants to be with model. So you would think that you would have, like, an upper hand. Like, this nigga's gonna treat me right. Nope. So, like, for example, when I went to go do my... When I was in Toronto and I did the Miguel music video, like I was actually in I just got out of a relationship, and
I like that guy.
Ooh.
Who's the guy?
I don't know. I feel like he was a good guy.
No.
Was he from Ottawa?
No.
Okay.
He's from Toronto. Anyways.
Okay, that
was the worst summer of my life. What?
I said that explains a lot, bro.
You already know. But that was like the worst summer of my life. So that music video was a big like fuck you. Like that was like, as soon as I got into that, I was like, why was I even stressing type of thing? Like I know my worth and stuff, right? And then after the music video, like I met my most recent ex and stuff, but like I would say for the most part, like modeling didn't really affect my relationship so much because every guy I dated didn't like have a traditional job and stuff. So if I had to travel and stuff, they were able to come with me, or if they had to travel, like I could just go with them. They understood why I would move around a lot and things like that, right? So that was fine. I wouldn't say it really affected it at all, but yeah, I definitely been through the ringer before, like up until like the most recent 2 years while I was like modeling and dating guys, and I was really young too, so I wasn't really aware about a lot of things like I am now. So But I wouldn't say modeling really affected my relationships that much.
Well,
Do you like, what type of guys do you like? So the streets of Ottawa can know. Don't put you know what? Don't put too much so they can, form themselves to be the nigga. But like just because niggas be like, oh okay, yeah, exactly. But just like
it's too late to like form anything because the girl is very much taken, very much in a very, very stable relationship, borderline,
dowry.
Ooh, that's what he was way of
So, but I would say for the most part, like from what I noticed, I tend to date guys who are really like, really, really confident, like really out there. When they walk in the room, they're not afraid to talk to people. They're usually like really outgoing. They have a lot of friends. Alpha. I would say alpha, yeah. Because I like to be led. Like as a woman, like I'll be submissive if I have a guy who can like take charge and do all that stuff, right? So I really like a guy who's like that. I don't really think too much about looks. I don't care for looks. That's like the last thing.
Care?
I really don't.
That's the last thing.
Yeah.
That's the last thing that would come to my mind. But usually it's because when someone has a personality like that, it just makes them automatically attractive.
Yeah.
Like I'm not thinking about if they're 6 feet or 5'2", whatever. Maybe not 5'2", but But you know what I mean, like.
It's a
But I'm like I don't really think about that kind of thing. But I just really like confident guys, like sense of humor, like they take charge. Like, hey, we're going here tonight. Let's do it. Adventurous. I love traveling, so that's important.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, you've been in an industry where it's basically ran by men most of the time. You know what I mean? I feel like the photographer, the people that direct the shoots. So, would you say that being a girl in this industry still to this day is an obstacle? You feel like
Well, yeah, I would say so. I mean, a lot of models still go through a lot of shit.
In what ways?
Let's talk like Me Too movement.
Do talk about that because you were already in the industry when this movie started.
Me Too movement's a big one. I've definitely been in uncomfortable situations, but for the most part, I can't say there's anybody that I would be like, oh, like they did something to me. Like, thankfully, I'm very grateful that hasn't happened to me, and I definitely feel for anybody that it has. And I hope that comes to an end at some point, but this world's evil and cruel and like, But I think the importance is like outing people. If they do something wrong and they actually did it and they're guilty of it, like I think it's important to put people on blast. Like you can't, like, it's just unacceptable. Like that shouldn't be a thing that happens. And like, like I really feel for people that it happened to, and I hope that I know agencies and stuff are taking precautions to make models feel more safe, and I know like my agencies go above and beyond to ensure like we're good. Like my agents always check in with me when I'm on a job and things like that. So I think it's really important to have that type of security, like have people who work for you really care about you, and then also just being really smart with people that you choose to work with, and like. Check the internet's there.
But do you think you get all that attention? Do you think you get that feedback from your agency because you produce so much, or do you feel like you're getting that just because it's the standard of the industry? Because I feel like you said it yourself, right? Like when you're really liked, when the people that you work with, feel like they're getting some type of money out of you, right? They'll definitely. You know what I mean? Yeah, they'll definitely vouch for you, right? So, like, do you feel like you're getting that attention because, okay, I'm a big dog in my...
I wouldn't say so because, honestly, as much as I look like I'm the big dog, there's girls out there that are the big dog. Like, in my agencies, right? There's girls that are doing amazing, amazing work. Like, some of my friends even, like, killing it out there, right? So I wouldn't say that's really because, like, I think it's just the culture that, like, my agencies have developed to be really... comforting and there for you and stuff like that. That's so important because I hear so many stories from other models, New York, London, like the market's different there. I think maybe it's a Canada thing. I don't. They're really, really nice, and I know that's a stereotype, but they are really nice. Right. So I always feel safe when I'm working.
Okay, I had another question. Okay, so how is it to be like dark skin in the modeling world? Like me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I used to consider myself dark skinned. People are telling me I'm brown skinned, but my nigga, I'm dark skinned. But okay, I don't know, like, what is brown skin? At the end of the day, if you're black, you're brown.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly. Dark brown or low light brown, either one, you're brown.
Exactly.
So it's interesting. Like when I first started out, like I'd show up sometimes and people wouldn't have my foundation color. Like for when I was doing my makeup and stuff. So that sucks. So I feel like a lot of the times, like in some of my earlier shoots, I felt like I didn't feel confident. So I felt like I just looked ugly. Like it wasn't like my makeup was ashy as fuck. Like it was just bad, you know?
You decided to be nice. Okay, listen. If it was in 1967, okay, that would suck. In 2021,
It doesn't make sense.
that's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's very unacceptable. As a, like, if you're in the beauty fashion industry,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
Don't they get
why
the
is your
model
model
resume?
ashy? Like, why would you?
Yeah, they know who I am before I come in, but they still sometimes they didn't have my foundation color. I just look so ridiculous. No, not really. You're not supposed to, like, if you're going on set and a makeup artist is there, you're a makeup artist, you should know how to do everyone's makeup, period. There's no reason for me to bring my own foundation. But when I lived in Korea, I had to bring my own foundation.
Yeah.
It was one job. I shot for Dazed and Confused magazine. That was probably one of my best
That's a big
accomplishments too, right?
I
I shot for Dazed Korea, and they had the makeup artist even had like braiding hair, like box braid hair, and had my foundation. I was shook.
And a razor.
Wow.
We're gonna give you a shape up.
I couldn't believe it. That was in Korea. So I had to bring my own foundation there everywhere I went. And honestly, some makeup artists like did their best to mix together colors to get my tone and stuff when they needed to. But here, I shouldn't be walking around with foundation. Like, no, you can go to freaking Walmart and get CoverGirl and done. Why do I have to show up and made to look ashy and shit? And then my hair, like, oh my God, don't get me started. Like, they would...
In 2020.
Yeah, they would do some dumb shit with my hair. They wouldn't know what to do with my afro. And then when eventually I was like, okay, why don't I just wear a wig or a weave then, since you guys can't do my hair? And they'd be like, no, but we want you to wear your afro.
But I have my afro, like, you're not...
Get to work. Get to work.
Wow.
So eventually I had to take matters into my own hands, and I was like, okay, this is how I'm gonna wear my hair from now on. And then like now, like, it's cool. Like recently actually, like, I decided to dye my hair blonde, and I dyed it blonde, and I was like, yes, like I was feeling myself. Then my agents were like, no, dye back.
Wow.
So yesterday I dyed my hair back to black, and here I am again, square one.
No way. Okay, so what is the role of an agency? Right?
So essentially the reason why they told me to dye it back, which I understand, is like clients know me as this, like black hair. So there's no pictures of me with blonde hair in my book. So they don't know what I would look like with that hair. So, but with me having my brown hair, like my black hair, they're like, this is how we know she's going to photograph. This is how we know she's going to shoot. So, you know, they'll hire me. But if they just see me with a new hair color, they're like, who the fuck's this?
And listen, you've done pretty well for yourself when it comes down to modeling, right? So, what are some others of your hobby that you would, characterize as your hobby, right?
My hobbies. Okay, so not gonna lie, like I literally didn't have much of a life besides modeling and going to school. So like a lot of my time was spent just like, I guess traveling would be one of my hobbies. Like I love going on trips. Like before COVID, like I literally went to like Vegas, Mexico and everything in like 1 year. I went back home in like Africa that same year too. Like I love traveling.
Tu fais quoi à Vegas, là? Tu fais quoi à Vegas? Dis-moi.
What do you mean, like with...
You're in Vegas. What do you do?
Oh, in Vegas. Oh, I was trying to fuck up.
No. Okay. Sorry.
I had the best time in Vegas. Like I saw Trey Songz.
You see Usher?
No, I didn't get to see Usher. Mayweather.
Usher box.
Vegas, let me tell you, if you're a woman and you're gorgeous, Vegas is the place to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Niggas will come up to you like, here, free party tonight, VIP, this, like it's just the best time. Yeah, you'll get in everything for free. You'll get drinks Everything you want for free.
Sponsored.
Yeah.
Period.
I'll need that
So it was a
invite
good
next time
time.
you. I'll need that invite next time you go.
Yeah, eh?
Should we get an extra ticket?
It's really fun. It's really fun.
You mentioned school. So are you in school currently?
I just graduated November 2020
Okay.
from Carleton.
Carlton.
I got my degree. In communications and media studies.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going back to school in September, and I'm getting my master's.
Wow. Black excellence.
I know your parents are happy.
They said yes, thank God. I'm the only one that wants to go do my master's. All my students have their undergrad, but they didn't go do their master's. So I'm going to get my MBA.
Would you like? I mean, you did pretty well for yourself, right? For the modeling. So would you say that it pays for your lifestyle?
Modeling?
Yeah.
Lately, yes. Like lately, I've been doing like I'll book like a couple jobs, but it'll pay me so much that I would be good to not work for a while.
So what would push you to go back to school? I really. Well, I mean, you said it yourself. You go to Vegas, you get everything paid for, right? Right? You go to Vegas, you go to Dubai. You didn't say that, but I know.
On a boat.
You go to Dubai.
Shaking my ass.
In a phone.
So you're doing all of this. You're having fun. What in the world would push
Why would I
you
go back to
go
school? Okay, so modeling's great. Like it's good. It's a good living and everything. But I'm not going back to school necessarily to make money, if that makes sense. First, I really enjoy learning. Like I really discovered that in my last year of school. I know that sounds fucking nerdy, but I actually I'm good at school. Like I was on Dean's List when I graduated, and like I was working a part-time job. I was doing modeling, all that stuff, and I still managed to get good grades, you know? So that really pushed me to pursue my master's. And then second, when I met my current partner right now, he really motivated me to look at the bigger picture. I was just really gonna graze through life, just finesse my way through life. Yeah. But he really you have this skill set. Imagine where you could be if you did this or if you did that. And I was like, whoa, I never thought about it, you know? So that's really what pushed me to get that's part of what pushed me to get my MBA. And then I don't plan on working for people. I really want to work for myself. And MBA is like a skeleton key. That's what my boyfriend always tells me. It's a skeleton key. It'll really help you open up doors for you. So I really want to be able to work for myself. And
what do you want to do though?
Yeah, I mean, you have that drive, right? So what are you trying to...
I think it's still gonna revolve around the beauty and fashion industry. I know before I probably work for myself, I want to be a C-suite position or an executive level where I'm able to direct marketing for beauty companies. That's a big priority of mine. My regular job is a digital marketer actually. So that's what I do my 9 to 5, I guess. And I really, really do enjoy marketing. It's one of my passions. I guess that would be one of my hobbies for real. I do freelance writing on the side and help companies with their social media strategies and things like that. So I guess I would want my MBA actually going to specialize in marketing as well. So that's going to help me, walk into a company and be like, hey, I can help you get this many new customers if you let me work with you and do this and that. So
yeah, and you have the MBA to back it up.
Exactly.
But you have the experience as a model.
Exactly. I know what the industry's like, so people are going to trust me to, do my thing.
So, I mean, you've done a lot of things in Canada and outside of Canada, right? So, out of Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver. We're just fucking around. Right?
Okay.
Right? Out of all those 4 major cities in the country, what are your favorite cities?
Okay, I've been to Vancouver twice.
Crackhead City.
What'd you guys call it?
Crackhead City.
Nobody called it like that, man.
Crackhead City.
It's called Fancy. We just got back from Vancouver. And
It was crazy?
it was crazy.
Wasn't in the same spot we went?
Yeah, she's like, what Vancouver you guys went to?
That's what I was about to say. I don't know I don't know what kind of Vancouver y'all went to. But I would say Vancouver's one of my favorite cities in terms of vibe. First of all, it's beautiful. It's so like, oh my God, Ottawa, you walk outside. I'm not dissing Ottawa. I actually love my hometown. But there's really not much to look at.
Yeah.
Vancouver, you can look at stuff.
Yeah.
The water, the mountains. Like, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. The beach.
Yeah.
The beach.
Yeah.
I would say, though, like, my favorite, honestly, right now is starting to be Toronto.
Toronto?
Yeah, that's
Montreal.
But not because of, like, I'm not talking about the people. I'm not friends with nobody. I don't have any friends like that. I don't really have friends like that. But I like to be able to do things like, okay, Toronto, like, when I get out of, like, my boyfriend's condo, like, I can walk 2 seconds and I'm at, like, the grocery store. Or I'm right by the CN Tower and I could just, like, take a walk, go to Starbucks, like, you know, do what I want. Here, I feel like I can't do that here. I don't know. So I'm really, really liking Toronto. Yeah, I feel like that's my favorite city right now.
Okay.
Maybe not forever, but right now.
So, if there was no modeling, what would you be doing right now? Or what would you like to do?
If I had to, like, stop modeling or something, like, if it didn't exist, I'd be lost.
Don't say that.
I'm not really sure, but no.
You don't
Like,
have an idea, like, just an idea, like, where would I be if...
like, if modeling was never a part of my life, is that what you're saying?
It was just never, like, it never happened, like...
Whoa, I don't know. I never thought about that.
But don't think like that too much.
No.
That's bad negative thinking. But I'm just asking the question.
I don't know, because it's shaped me into who I am so much that I actually don't even know what I would have been doing if I wasn't a model. You know, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that because
It's just part of you.
that's crazy. I never thought about it.
So, Tima, you've been in the hot seat. You seem to have survived. Not done yet. So, you know, being the last question, you know, you've done a lot of big things, and you know, this whole interview has been nothing but a pleasure for me. And you know,
For us.
yeah, for us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But no, honestly, you know, this whole interview, you know, it was just a pleasure for us.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
And
It was for me.
And
Definitely.
I'm
For me
sure
too.
that the people that get to watch it, you know, the people that have been invested in your career, you know, especially the young girls, are just dying to hear what you have to talk about, right? So being part of the industry, right? Wanting to be part of it, you know, what would you tell those little girls that look at you like, you know, like she's a honcho in the industry, but also she's made a name for herself. They look at you almost as if you're a standard. Some of them, you know. So what would you tell those little girls and how to join the industry and, you know?
I would tell them to, like, if they really want to do it, just go ahead and submit yourself to agencies like MIM. Like, they're really, really great for building you up from scratch. Like, I never would have thought that I would get here, but, like, they're super motivating. Like, you get to learn while you're with them, you know, do a lot of, like, creatives and things like that and then eventually land bigger jobs. And they'll always push for you to sign with other agencies outside of Ottawa, which is really, really good too. So I would say, like, submit your photos, like, just be confident in yourself. Like, don't worry about submitting photos where you're all dolled up and you have makeup on. No, just come out there, be natural, like, you're already beautiful in your own skin. So I would just say build that confidence up, send in your photos. And yeah, definitely, like, go with an agency like MIM where it's like a big family and they're really nurturing and they're going to build you up from the ground up.
And yeah, no, I feel like that's great advice, right? Because even in the music world, right, when you try to fake a certain image, you know, it'll show through, you know?
Yep.
It's only so long until the clown starts to dance, you know? So
Yep.
definitely, and I feel like if you're able to be yourself, then the agencies, the contracts you get, the acquaintances you meet, they'll love you for who you are, you know?
Exactly.
So, listen, Tima, Chanel.
My alter ego.
Thank you very much for showing up.
Thank you so much for having me.
So today was another episode of the Off the Rope podcast, and we